Hey warriors, I'm on live and I am in the middle of London, and you can see, if I go this way, you can see, if I do that, you can see the cathedral. You see that little clock up there? I don't know if you can see it, but I am on live. How are you guys doing? This is my weekly trip to London. I always find it quite tricky to say goodbye to the family, but you know what? I always have massive gratitude for it, because what a grateful thing to feel emotional about. Gratitude has the power to do all kinds of wonderful things, but one of them straight off the gate is to take a potential negative, to take something that could be difficult to you and challenging to you and something that you're finding not easy to deal with, and turn it into something that you can use to say to yourself, right, well, you know what? How can I be grateful for that? How can I learn to actually see what that is doing for me that's a good thing? And for me, when I say goodbye to my family, and it's a bit emotional, that to me says, God, what a great life to have something to feel emotional about, to have these wonderful human beings who love me and I love them. And if I didn't have that and I didn't have to deal with those emotions, I wouldn't have as much to feel grateful for. So I think that's the first thing to remember is I want you to love yourself enough to notice in your life, what can you be grateful for that you've previously found difficult. Now, whether that's a difficult person, maybe, as an example. I know that seems like the strangest idea of all, but it's like, how can I be more grateful to that difficult person? Because it's as if you can turn it into a learning. You can turn it into something that isn't just pissing you off anymore. You can turn it into something like, you know what? This person came into my life when they did, right on time, because I had to learn whatever it is that they're teaching me. Now, you need to just discover that for yourself, but ultimately, if you use gratitude, you can say, I am thankful for this person because they are teaching me X, Y, and Z. And when you can do that, it transforms our mindset. It transforms the mindset from one of, this is no good, life sucks, to one that says, you know what, life still sucks sometimes, but actually I'm going to be grateful and therefore learn. I'm going to be grateful and therefore love myself, because at the end of the day, you're the one who feels what you feel. You're the one who goes through what you go through. And I think ultimately what we forget as human beings at times is that loving ourselves is really about knowing that we can be our own worst enemy, but also our own best friend as well. And the way to come away from being our own worst enemy is to ever judge ourselves and to ever have shame about what it is that we do. It's coming away from those and coming towards something that says, how can I love me more? How can I just take that bit better care of me more? How can I be more tender and loving to myself a bit more? And maybe that is being more grateful of those difficult people, the difficult situations. That's the first thing you can do to love yourself more. Maybe it's to accept how life is at times. Maybe, excuse the noise, guys, with the vans and stuff. Maybe it's not just being more tender to yourself, but it's also giving yourself a good fucking kick in the ass. Because ultimately, loving ourselves isn't just about being tender and kind and forgiving to ourselves, although I think mostly it is. I think we are far too hard on ourselves, and if you can just learn to be a bit more light and a bit kinder and a bit more forgiving of yourself, maybe in the evenings just forgive yourself for any mistakes that you made that day, because we all make them. I make them, everybody makes them. But also, it's to accept that maybe you need to give yourself a kick in the ass too. Because there's times where we wallow in our own self-pity. And that's not going to do you any good. And that's not loving yourself either. Because we sometimes think that loving ourselves is like, no, poor me, no, that's right, no, I'm having a hard time. And okay, that can be fine if that's what you kind of need at that time. But you know what, that can also perpetuate the problem. because so many of the problems that we have in our lives is a lack of self-awareness, that we are the ones who are creating our own shit, our own problems. And I know that you have the power to overcome that. I know that you have the power to overcome that, because you have a human mind. You have a mind that is able to choose a new direction, is able to make a new decision, is able to come away from things that weaken you and ideas that weaken you to ones that strengthen you. And ones that strengthen you are ones that say, you know what, I'm not going to wallow in this bullshit that I tell myself anymore, this story that I can't do this and I'm no good at that, and it's never going to work out, and that person's always going to be like this. It's going to come away from all those self-defeating, limiting beliefs towards ones that are more hopeful, to ones that get you fired up, that get you believing again in yourself. And that is a little kick in the ass, isn't it? It's like, come on, man. Pull those bootlaces up. Get yourself going and move in the direction that you want. And I think that's the second element to loving yourself. It's firstly, yes, I think I think you need to, and we need to, I know I need to as well, forgive myself, yourself, ourselves, and that's ultimately self-love. And then also I think there's another part to it, which is to know that if we want to truly be happy and truly love ourselves, we've also got to learn how to not wallow, but to pick ourselves up, to go again, to make that next step forward, because I know that you can, my friend. I really do. That's just a little pep talk from me this morning. I'm in central London. I'm about to see a client right now. My hands are freezing holding this, but it is wonderful seeing you. Michelin, lovely to see you. Kath, lovely to see you. Lorandi, lovely to see you too. And just if you want to join my emails, you can click that link above and join my emails, and I'll send you out the weekly warrior email, or motivational email on a Wednesday morning. So if you want to join those, please do. They're completely free of charge. I'm going to go now. Last thing is, firstly, thank you to all of you who filled in the poll. There's the bells. Who filled in the poll, but also, if you haven't filled in the poll yet, it's on the pinned post. So click on pinned post, and if you could fill in that poll, it just gives me a greater idea of where we're going with this journey. So guys, that is all from me. Love you loads. Bye-bye.